Hi everyone, it's Mike from EduCircles, and today we're going to walk through how to play some of the logic puzzles that are in the character chapter of our Exploring the Six Seas unit. So, here's a sample Google Classroom assignment, and I'm going to pretend I'm a student named Positive Alligator. And yes, that is a cat for my profile picture. If I open up the assignment, I can read what's written here. Here are a series of logic puzzles. They start off easy, but they get harder and harder. The point of this assignment is not to become a puzzle master. Instead, the point is to learn how to struggle and to find the inner strength to keep going, even when you get bored, frustrated, or stuck. One of the most important skills you'll need in class and in life is to learn how to struggle and keep going when the going gets tough. Choose to stay in a growth mindset. That means work hard, try different strategies, and learn from your mistakes. Instructions. Number 1, watch this tutorial video. Number 2, open the Sudoku puzzle package Google Slideshow. I've already made a copy for you. Number 3, do a logic puzzle. Number 4, keep going until you get bored, frustrated, or stuck. Number 5, find your inner ninja to overcome obstacles and keep going. P.S. If you get stuck, you can always check out the slideshow we saw in class. Or, if you need a hint, reach out to me in the comments. Alright, so I'm going to click on View Assignment to open that up. And I see right here at the top right of the assignment screen, I have a Google Slides document already made for me. So I'm going to open up that Google Slides. It might take a second to load. Alright, here we go. I see I have a blank slide and then 3 instruction slides and then another blank slide. So I'll click on that first instruction slide about how to open a puzzle. Step 1, read all of the instructions on the slide first. Okay, I'm going to right click on slide 1. I'm going to click on Apply Layout in the menu that pops up, and then I'm going to choose a puzzle from the list, and then I'm going to go to the next instruction slide about copying the game pieces. Alright, let's do this. First, I need to right click on slide number 1. I'm going to click on Apply Layout. I'm going to give it a second to load. And depending on the speed of your internet connection and your device, this may be faster or slower. Everything has finished loading, so I'm going to click on Puzzle 1-1, and there we go. The puzzle has loaded, and now I just need my game pieces. Let's look at the next instruction slide about how to copy them. Step 1, read all of the instructions first. Okay, I'm going to click on one of the purple game pieces. I'm going to use Ctrl-A on the keyboard to select all of the pieces. I'm going to use Ctrl-C to copy the pieces, and then I'm going to click on the slide with the puzzle, so slide number 1, and then I'm going to click on the keyboard Ctrl-V to paste the game pieces in. So here we go. I'm going to click on one of the game pieces. By the way, if you can't see the game piece off the screen on the left-hand side here, just click this scroll bar at the bottom and you can move the slide from left to right to reveal more pieces. After I click on a game piece, I'm going to hit Ctrl-A on the keyboard to select all of the puzzle. I'm going to hit Ctrl-C on the keyboard to copy the pieces. And now that I've copied the game pieces to the clipboard, I just go to the slide with my puzzle. So slide number 1, I click on that. And then I'm going to type Ctrl-V on the keyboard to paste the game pieces. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to play Sudoku. And depending on your monitor size, you may not be able to see much. So let's try to make the board a little bigger. Here are a couple of tips. If you have the ruler on, then you can make the screen a little bit smaller just by going to View and then making sure that Show Ruler is off. We can get rid of that. If your slideshow has speaker notes on at the bottom, this again makes things a little bit smaller. So again, click on View and then just make sure to unclick Show Speaker Notes if it's already clicked. Another trick that we're going to do is up here in the View menu again. Click on Full Screen, and that will make things as big as possible by getting rid of the menu controls. Finally, if you're using Google Chrome, the last trick that we're going to do is we're going to hit F11 on the keyboard, and that gets rid of the tabs in Google Chrome and it activates full screen mode. So now we have a gigantic full screen to play Sudoku. Remember, there's a scroll bar at the bottom in case you need to reveal more of the game pieces. If I read the instructions on the board, it says, number 1, write down possible candidates in the red text boxes on the Sudoku board. So I can click on these boxes and type numbers. Number 2, once I solve a number, I can click and drag these stickers or game pieces right onto the board. On the right-hand side, it says Mindset Matters. Remember, you can choose to be in a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. It's a choice. The second sticky note here explains what a growth mindset is. So it means we try different strategies. We need to put in the effort. And when we make mistakes, and we will definitely make mistakes, we need to try to learn from them and try to keep in our mind that the point is to grow from our mistakes. So I'm going to play this logic puzzle. In case you've never played Sudoku before, it's a logic puzzle that uses numbers as game pieces. There are more strategies in the character slideshow, but let's go over some basics. You're only allowed to use the numbers from 1 to 9 inside of a box, column, or row. So that's the criteria of the game. So, for example, here in this box, I can see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is missing, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I know that this cell has to be 5 because that's the only possibility. So I'm going to just click on a purple game piece with the number 5 and drag it out onto the board. If you're on a laptop and you don't have a mouse, it can be tricky to click and drag. So another way to move the game piece is to select the number by clicking it, and then use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move it all the way across and into position. Or you may find that it's just easier to click and drag. Another thing to know when moving these game pieces is you want to click in the middle of the number. These are actually little images, so if I click on a game piece, my cursor will change from an arrow to a little crosshair with 4 arrows. But if I hold my mouse over the edge here, it changes from that little crosshair with 4 arrows into 2 arrows, and those 2 arrows let me change the shape of this. But that's not what I want to do, so I'm going to Control Z and undo this. I'm going to click the middle of the game piece and the 4 arrows pop up. And now I'm going to move the numbers over, and I want to move the number 5 here. Sometimes one of these cells can have multiple possibilities. I just haven't narrowed it down yet. I won't be able to remember everything, so that's why it's important to write down the numbers of possible candidates. So if I look at this column here, I know it should have the numbers from 1 to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see a 5, so this cell could be a 5. I don't see a 5 in the box or in the row, so 5 is a possible candidate. I'm just going to click in this text box and type the number 5. Okay, if I keep checking numbers in this column, I see the number 6. The next number that's missing is 7. And let's check. It's not in the box, and it's not in the row, so this cell could also be a 7. I'll type that in. A couple of pro tips about using text boxes in Google Slides. When I need to unclick something, I just click somewhere off of the screen where there isn't a movable object. So I'll just click over here. If I click on a text box that already has a number in it, Google Slides gives me the option of moving that text box. I can tell that because my mouse arrow has turned into a crosshair with 4 arrows. Of course, I don't want to move these boxes, so I'm just going to click somewhere off the screen to unselect the text box. The way to edit a text box that already has something in it is to double-click the text box. When I double-click, I can see I get the text cursor. If I want to leave, I can just click something outside here. So, anytime you want to change a number, you have to double-click it, and then you can use your keyboard to type. At some point, you're going to make a mistake, and when that happens, just double-click the text box and change the numbers there. Let's say I finish this logic puzzle and I want to check my answers. I'm going to click over here on the left on this instruction slide about how to check your work when you're done. Remember, the point is not to get everything right, although you might get everything correct. The point here is to learn how to struggle. When the puzzle gets tough and you get bored or frustrated or stuck, that's the point of the lesson. What do you do when things get tough? This is a chance to practice trying to keep a growth mindset. So, if the first puzzle was too easy and you solved it without breaking a sweat, then I'd like to apologize. It looks like you didn't get an opportunity to practice strategies to overcome obstacles. Maybe there's a harder puzzle in the layouts for you to really sink your teeth into. On the other hand, if you just jump to the last puzzle and you get stuck on that last puzzle, you'll definitely get an opportunity to learn how to struggle, but the puzzle might be too tough for you right now. You might have to put in the effort and start with some easier puzzles to build up your logic and critical thinking skills. Some people will be tempted to copy the answer by peeking at that solution slide when they get stuck. Or maybe they'll try to find a solution somewhere else. And that happens. Cheating by copying the answers will definitely get you the correct answer. But those people who do that kind of miss the point. This is a lesson on character, and it says something about your character whether you choose to take the easy path, or if you choose to struggle with the puzzle, try a bunch of different things, try a bunch of different strategies to stay engaged, and then finally you get it. Either way, both people get the answer. But the person who struggled and kept going and didn't give up is learning how to struggle, and that makes all the difference. Oh, and just because you decide to take the easy way now doesn't mean you have to do that next time. That's why there are 3 puzzles at each difficulty level. So puzzles 1-1, 1-2, and 1-3 are all around the same level of difficulty. Likewise, just because you put in the hard work now and you've figured out the answer to one puzzle doesn't mean that putting in the hard work next time will lead to success. Some obstacles in life are harder than others. In fact, some obstacles are overwhelming. And the strategy you use this time to get over that obstacle may not work next time. And that's the point. Things change and you have to figure out how to keep going even when things are tough. But we know this. And we know that if we learn how to struggle and practice struggling through things, we can get better at it. This is a transferable skill that will help us whether we're learning a new concept in class, trying to do homework through distance learning, dealing with bullies on the yard, trying to find a job when there aren't any, building healthy relationships, living in a world with COVID-19, dealing with systemic racism, or just playing Sudoku. So, here's how you check your answer. You right-click on the blank slide in slide number 5, and then you click on Apply Layout. You scroll down to the layout that has the solution to your puzzle, and you check your answers. So I'm going to do that right now. I'll right-click on the slide number 5. I'm going to click on Apply Layout. It might take some time again to load, depending on the speed of the internet and your computer. If I scroll down in this list of layouts, I can see here are the puzzles first, and then I can see the solutions. I had puzzle 1-1, so I'll check on solution 1-1, and if I click on that, my answers pop up on the slide. In the video, I've blurred out the numbers, but in your file, the answers aren't blurred. Pro tip: if you click and drag the solution slide and place it right underneath your puzzle slide, you can easily flip back and forth between the puzzle slide and the solution slide by using the up and down arrow keys on your keyboard. Oh, one last trick. Here's how to see a replay of all of the strategies and moves you tried when you were solving your puzzle. Hit Escape to get out of the full screen mode. Click on File and then Version History. On the right hand side, you can see that Google remembers every move and everything that you typed. It remembers everything, even if you delete it later on. We might need to click on this triangle to see more versions. It might be kind of cool to create a video replay of how you solved your puzzle and talk about what you did and how you got stuck and what you did to get unstuck in different places. But that's another tutorial. That's it. That's how you play Sudoku in Google Slides. Good luck. Teachers, for more information about this lesson package or 21st century competencies, visit us at educircles.org. We'll see you next time.